Honestly, it's pretty good. I think overall the content is super succinct, easy to read. Like the call outs are super clear. So I'm not going to have a ton here. What I will say as I kind of scroll through here, some of the sections are a little overwhelming. Like this hero section, kind of having all the content, the CTA button kind of squashed together, maybe be worth kind of putting the CTA button underneath, making it full width. Because particularly, I mean, same thing as the last one with small text, older demo. You just got to make your call to action super, super clear. And it kind of looks like this is a part of the image. I don't think it actually is if I inspect it just for fun. Yeah, it's an actual button, but I'd pull this out of there, put it below. But other than that, I think the headlines are really strong, how it works, good visuals. I don't necessarily think having more than one video in a carousel like this gives you a whole lot of benefit over just having one. At least in the test that we've done, when you bring video into it, it's obviously it takes longer to watch a video than look at an image. So very rarely do people get to like the third, fourth, fifth video. So I think you'd get just as much value by taking the what you consider the best video, or even split testing and seeing which ones people respond to the best, and just making that the only option here. Because I mean, by and large, people coming on a landing page from an ad aren't in the mindset of watching videos and kind of clicking through things. So try and swap that out for a single one. But what I like even better is this sort of like looped GIF MP4 style thing where you don't even need to press play on anything. I think as much as possible, if you can extract the same message out of videos and put them into a format like this, it's just going to work way better because it's going to keep people scrolling through the page and it's going to surface all the same benefits ideally. But aside from that, I love these 6 reasons sections. When we've taken like our normal like long form hero product landing pages and kind of put like a mini, listicle inside of it, that tends to get a ton of engagement, even when it's a little further down the page like this. It's just such a simple format. The one thing I would do is, to your point on the last page again, kind of goes add some bolding in here, make it a little bit more scannable. You could test the amount of reasons, even cutting it down to 4 or 3 and seeing if that gets a little bit more engagement. But overall, love that. Testimonials are great. I would try as much as possible to get some customer photos in here. These review sections, I think people they kind of get blind to when it just looks like stock photos with a bunch of text underneath them. But if you can get real customer photos, especially with dogs, like that's a no-brainer. People love just to scroll through and look at, pet photos. But something like this, especially this big icon in here, isn't super compelling to me. So replacing this with, actually some of these other photos look like customer photos. So maybe they're ahead of me. But as much as possible, UGC over, model shots, studio shots in review cards, I think is a big win. Looks like a buy box, kind of like a buy box. I'm thinking some of this text in these images is kind of hard to read, so maybe redesign some of those, just simplify it. But overall, this is a really strong page. Maybe make this full width so the text is a little bit easier to read instead of kind of locked up in all this padding. But really, I'm just kind of calling out small stuff. Same thing here, redesign. This probably looks like an image. Yeah. Redesign this so the text is bigger, easier to read. Yeah, I honestly don't have a lot here. So to summarize, CTA buttons out of images and internal elements like this, make them full width, easy to click, make sure all the text is readable, and UGC wherever you can get it, and single videos instead of multiple choices. Do you have any big thoughts here, Kanika?
No, I think you nailed most of them. I think the couple that I would mention are, and this is more like you'll know as you watch user behavior and video recordings and things. 100% agree with Ryan's call out to put the CTA button kind of below and as a separate thing. My assumption is that there might be a solid number of, again, kind of older folks who are buying here. If they have a senior dog, they probably had it for 10, 15 years. Especially if they're looking for a solution like this. If they're younger, they probably are not quite as responsible in looking for something like this. So one thing could be if people are trying to hit that logo a bunch and nothing's happening, especially in the age range we found, add a faux menu. I think we talked about this our last cohort as well. But just add a fake menu that brings them down to separate sections of the page so that they feel like they have the control that they really want, but you're still containing them in the journey. And then the other real thing that I would call out is just that next title that you have is how ToeGrips work. I would almost, instead of just saying that sentence, how ToeGrips work, I would almost use that to actually describe kind of what they are a little bit more, because I have no idea what a toe grip is. I have a dog and I've never heard of a toe grip before. And I would assume that a lot of people haven't, because it sounds like this is a new invention that they might have made or you guys might have made if you're watching this. And so I would almost say, toe grips work to give your dog's nails traction, right? Like just describe it there instead of saying, here's how they work. Beyond that, I think I totally agree with the videos. The GIFs are awesome. I think you nailed it. Oh, the only last thing I was going to say in the buy section, which Ryan started to say as well, is maybe redesign some of the product images a little bit. I do like there's extra context with the text around it and some of that information. But again, as Ryan was saying earlier, that's hard to read for one. And then very especially with the first image, people generally want to see the packaging. They want to see exactly what they're going to hold in their hands. And right now it's kind of blending into that blue background and you can't see the details of the packaging. So as much as you can, at least somewhere within this carousel, I always recommend it being the first one, show the package, show what they're going to actually receive when they get the box. But yeah, beyond that, I think you nailed them.